How's everybody doing tonight? Okay. I got a new, I emailed everyone. I don't know if you got, hopefully you got the email. Some students have not been getting an email this semester for some reason, but just a reminder on, really not pertaining to this class as much as my online classes that don't meet face to face, but this is just a online office hours, a virtual office hours, which I might actually end up hating this. I don't know. We'll find out. But basically what it is, if I'm online, it'll tell you I'm online and you can just begin asking me a question. The only thing I ask you to do is use your full name and class name as a nickname. So like, Chuck Conkle, Web 225, down here at the bottom. In fact, what I thought we would do, I've got my phone with me because I actually have an app on my phone. I was just wanting to see how, I had one student use it today. Just wanted to see how it works. So I'll have a number of you maybe try this real quick. Not everybody has to do it, but if you guys could go ahead and try this real quick, just under where it says edit nickname, put your first last name and then Web 225 or something. And we'll just kind of play around with it real quick to see if it works. Take a little bit to do what now? As soon as you go into our class, you should see it show up. It's in the course tab. As soon as you click on our class, it'll load up. What is it? Web 225, right? Web 225 loads up just like this. And you should see it show up over here on the right. You must already be in Eagle, so all you need to do is click on the course right here. See where it says course? Click on course, it'll show up. Okay, Victoria's in. See here if we can. I'm just going to say hi. I'm not going to do any more than that. No? Shouldn't have to log off. You're not in our class. You're in CS 180. There it is. Okay. Now you'll only see what I'm replying on your screen. I don't have it on the overhead. I'm doing it on my phone here. Okay, so we got Drew. I'm just going to do. So Victoria, did you get your response back from me? Yep. Drew, did you get a response? Okay. Nicole. Let's do a real quick run through, nothing real major. But I've used Meebo before, not like this. There's some other instructors I've read that it's worked pretty good, so we'll see how it works. So I'm just replying to people that have put a chat in. So let's see, we had Victoria, Drew, Nicole, Amy, Shannon, and Vanessa. Did everybody get a reply back? Okay. So I just want to play around, make sure it's working. So if I'm online, you'll see that. It'll actually say Prof. Conkle is online, or if I'm away, it'll say away. And I think even if I'm away, you can put something in there, and then when I come back online, it'll show up. But it'd probably be a good idea just, if it doesn't say online, I think I put this in your email, don't put anything in there, only if it says online. Make sense? So don't feel bad if doing it on the weekend. If you need help on an assignment or something, since it's on my phone, it only takes a second to reply, so it's no big deal. Okay? And so I'm trying it out this semester to see how it works for students. So it's not going to bother me for you to do it. If it says online, I'm online. That means I'm wanting to help. Make sense? Just so you know, I am online sometimes pretty late at night grading and things. So if you see me online at 11 o'clock and you have a question, you can ask me a question. That's fine. All right. So any questions on that? All right. Well, white balance, I want to kind of clarify some things on white balance for us tonight before I let you go on it. I went around, I believe, Monday, and we're in week 6. I went around Monday to make sure you knew where your white balance was on your camera. Some of you didn't have a manual balance, but that's fine. manual white balance, because the lab we're going to be doing, the take-home lab, does not have you use a manual, which is great. So I noticed a number of you did not have manual, I believe. So let's jump right into the assignment and then try to answer any questions you might have. So for this one, you're going to set the ISO of your camera to an auto or 100. And remember, the 100 is a lower setting of letting light in to your camera. Now, if you find out that auto and ISO 100 still doesn't look right, I don't mind you bumping that ISO up a little bit if you need to, like say to 300 possibly. And remember, the more you bump that ISO up, the more light it lets into your camera. All right. So like this room here would probably need a higher ISO setting if the auto and 100 didn't work. Does that make sense? So auto or 100 or whatever you need to set the ISO at. Set the picture size to max, which most of your cameras, I believe, should already be set that. What this means is when you go into your camera settings, you have different sizes of picture size that you can create. Most of yours are probably already going to be set at max and at highest JPEG quality. But if not, do that for this assignment. It's going to help you with the white balance. Then the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create or use an auto white balance to shoot 3 pictures of each of the below light settings. So you're going to find a direct sunlight setting, and in the shade setting, and under tungsten light. Okay, and remember, tungsten light is a lighting like we're in here, kind of the fluorescent type of lighting. And so, or if you don't have the fluorescent type of lighting, tungsten actually is going to be more for your house's house lighting, not under here, I'm sorry. Tungsten lighting is going to be more the regular bulb. Now, some of your houses, I might have to just change this a little bit, because how many does not have regular light bulbs in your house anymore? You have only fluorescent all throughout your house. Okay, so let's do this. If that's you, I will let you use, instead of tungsten, it'll be fluorescent basically. Does that make sense? So either one. For sure, direct sunlight and shade, and then whatever light you have in your house, use that, whether it's fluorescent or regular light bulbs, which is tungsten. So you're going to take 3 photos, sunlight, shade, tungsten, then set the white balance to sunlight. And your dial might not say sunlight on your cameras. It might have like, for instance, most of your cameras are going to have like it'll look like a sun. All right, just like that. Set it to that. Again, direct sunlight in the shade, and then either tungsten or fluorescent, whatever you have. So far we got 3, 3 and 3, 3 for 3, 3 for 4, so we've got 6 photos. Then number 5, here's where you're going to do the proper setting for each one of the settings. So if you are in sunlight, the proper setting for this one is sunlight. If you're in shade, shade, tungsten, tungsten, fluorescent, fluorescent. Make sense? So whatever setting you're at. So the reason for the whole exercise is to see, because we talked a little bit Monday about how you can manipulate your white balance by using a different white balance than what you really should be using it for to get different results. I think the example we used was you're on a beach and it's bright outside. You can use a different, like a tungsten setting sometimes, to make the person look like they've got a tan. Okay, so that's an example. So the whole reason for this exercise is to kind of let you know what your white balance makes flesh tones look like, makes objects look like, so on and so forth. And that maybe answer the next question for you, as far as what do I want you to take a photo of. Whatever it is you take a photo of, just make sure you use it throughout the entire exercise. Whether it's a person, an object, does that make sense? Doesn't matter to me. If you can get your significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend to let you take your photo, their photo multiple times, that's great. Cat, dog, fine. Basketball, whatever. Yes. Coffee cup. Yes.
So do we need to take all of these 9 pictures of the same thing?
Correct. So what you're going to do is, here's the deal. Say we're taking a picture of a coffee cup. We'll use that as an example. You take that coffee cup outside, take a picture of that coffee cup in the sunlight, okay, and using auto white balance. Change it to white, change it to sunlight and sunlight. Change it to, in this case, it would be sunlight and the white balance. So you're going to have auto, sunlight, and sunlight for the coffee cup, just for that once, you know. And then the next one is in shade, coffee cup in the shade, in auto, coffee cup in the shade and sunlight, coffee cup in the shade and shade. Make sense? So you're going to have basically at the end of this 9 photos is what it's going to end up with. One for each, for number 3, one for number 4, one for number 5. But you're not going to move the object. You keep the object where it's at. So you're going to do put the object outside, and then you're going to take a photo of that object in auto, sunlight, and then sunlight. Take it in, then move it to the shade. Take it in shade and auto. Take it in the shade using the sunlight white balance, and take it in the shade using shade. Then finally, put that coffee cup under a tungsten or a fluorescent or tungsten light, whatever you have in your house. Auto, sunlight, and then if it's tungsten, meaning the regular light bulb, you take it in tungsten in your house. If it's fluorescent, change it to fluorescent. Now, remember, some of your cameras have different fluorescent types. You might have fluorescent halogen, fluorescent whatever. The bulb will tell you what type it is. Most of your bulbs are going to be just a general fluorescent setting. If it's a halogen, sometimes it can be anywhere from a little, I don't know if you've seen in houses where they have like the recessed lights, and they're pretty bright. Those are going to be the fluorescent halogens. The halogens are generally brighter, because the term halogen actually is the same type of bulb you use on your car for headlights. And so they're generally a little brighter light. Let's see, then naming the photos. So you should have, at the end of this exercise, now, will you take more than 9 photos? Yeah, definitely. You're going to take more than 9. You're going to decide out of those which ones you want to keep, as always. But come up with, at the end of the day, 3 photos for auto 1, auto 2, auto 3. Sunny 1, sunny 2, sunny 3. Correct 1, correct 2, correct 3. All right? So 9 photos, which you'll end up with at the end of the day. Once you're finished, create a photo picture site called White Balance, and just give me the link here at the bottom. Or some of you just been giving me a direct link each week to your photo site, and it has a photo set of that in there. That's fine. You know, that works great. Any questions? Okay. So just to recap real again, to make sure I see no confused faces here, we're going to do take whatever object it is you're taking a photo of, whether it be a coffee cup, a person, an animal, whatever. Take that object and place it in direct sunlight first. Take that object and use auto white balance, then sunlight, then the proper. Then take that object, move to shade, auto, sunlight, shade. Move it to whatever lighting you have in your house, tungsten or fluorescent. Auto, sunlight, and then whatever the correct lighting source you have, whether it be tungsten or fluorescent. Make sense? So you'll have 9 photos at the end. Any questions on that? Anybody confused? Okay. Well, if you are and you don't want to raise your hand, you can see me before you leave. I'd be more glad to help you with it. I don't want you to be confused with it. So at the end of it, you will have completed the white balance exercise. I do want to kind of look ahead real quick, and I do want to talk about, if you didn't bring your pictures on Monday, I need to collect them. I know a few of you, I'm doing that, you've already brought them up, but if you did not bring your pictures on Monday, for the exposure exercise. Let me collect those. I want to look ahead real quick before I let you go, because you can actually kill some of this today, maybe before you leave campus. Next week, we're going to be looking at color adjustment lab. In this color adjustment lab, has anybody seen the movie Avatar before?
The blue people?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Blue People, or the Blue People movie. In this lab next Monday, we're actually going to go through and show you how to change the skin color of a person to the avatar skin color. If you want to go ahead and bring a picture for this, a digital image, you may do so, whether it be a friend or an enemy, doesn't matter. Students always have fun with this one. Also show you in this lab how to change the blue sky to a scary dark sky. And we're using Photoshop, as you can probably guess, to do this. One of the first labs we're using Photoshop. And then also removing a blemish. I actually have files for all three of these to use for the lab. But if you wanted to bring some images next Monday, you might make note to yourself, yeah, I got a picture I'd like to bring in to take some blemishes out, or maybe I've got a picture of, somebody that I'd like to change their skin color to whatever it is, to blue. But if you don't bring them, no big deal. I've got files to use for all three. The removing blemish is actually used a lot in photography because, we can only take pictures of what the good Lord gave us, right? And so some of us are given more than others. But in photography, they're always having to touch up photos. Even the best of, best looking of people have to have touch up on any magazine cover or any poster that you see. They're going to be touched up some. All of them are. And so we kind of show you how that's done. You learn that a little bit, and by using the avatar blemish and those two labs, you can use those it kind of shows you a little bit how to smoothing skin tone. Some people actually, for instance, I don't know if you've seen they used to have it on the mall. I don't think they do anymore, but the Glamour Shots is the name of the company, where people go in and they get like a photo session and they glam them up. You can do a lot of that actually with Photoshop, and we show you a little bit of that. I was a graphic designer for 8 years, and so I'll show you some of the tricks that they use to do that. And it's it's helpful, and when you're taking photos, because when you start taking photos of people, even of your family and friends, a lot of times they'll want you to, if they have blemishes or they have something that they don't want on the photo, you can touch it up if you want to, and it's nothing to feel bad about. So we'll do that on Monday. So if you have pictures for that, you can definitely bring that. And then, looking ahead further here, before spring break, we're going to be doing the week before spring break on week 8, landscape photography week. This one actually we're going to be doing landscape photography, and I don't have the file in there yet, as it pertains to, let me go back, might have put in here, panoramic is what it is. Yeah, that's the term I was looking for. Have you seen pictures before of cityscapes of like this wide maybe, and it's a whole cityscape? It's basically the skyline. You'll learn how to do that this week, or on this week coming up. And week 8 basically shows you how to do that. Just to look at, the reason I want to look ahead a little bit was, for this week, it would be helpful to have a tripod if you don't already have one. Students have survived without a tripod for this one, because your camera has to stay steady and you have to take a succession of photos, usually 8 to 10 photos of a landscape from left to right or right to left. So you might be looking at Walmart, if you guys are out and about and you see a good sale on one around town, maybe let everybody know in class where you found them. That'd be great. But just right off the cuff, Walmart's has them generally anywhere from $12 up to $20 for a tripod. But again, if you can't afford one, I do have 2 extra tripods that I'll bring into class that week to loan out if you need it. So don't feel bad if you can't afford one. I'll have a couple I'll bring to class for you guys to borrow. Is that okay? Then you can bring them home and just bring them back. No big deal. But you might be thinking of areas in Rockford or where you live of landscape type of photos, kind of scenes you've already, maybe you drive home and you see it every night, or even around where you live. There's just beautiful landscape that you've always really, wish you could get a longer view of that photo, and you'll learn how to do that this week. And so, because what we do at the end of that lab is we actually print out your panoramic on 8x10, but I'm thinking about having the division by some ink from my Epson printer, bring it in, and we can print 11x17 of your panoramic. And so that'd be pretty cool. And so you can actually print out your panoramic in full color and go to Michael's or something and get a frame to put it in. And so panoramics are really cool, and they're really probably one of the parts of photography students have the most fun with in the semester is taking panoramic shots. Because during that session, you really learn, I guess, the power of digital cameras, and also the terminology called stitching, where it stitches together in Photoshop all of your images that you've taken for panoramic and makes it all one nice long image. And it does all that for you automatically for the most part, which is pretty cool. A lot of students that if you use Photoshop have never really used that feature before that's built into Photoshop. So looking ahead just a little bit, and then after that we got spring break, which I won't go any further than that. So on white balance, I also have, just so you know, it did not finish downloading before class, but there is a video that I'm going to post inside of our conference for this week on week 6. I'll put it right here in week 6, and I'll just email everybody when it's finished. It's a YouTube video, but I don't like showing YouTube videos in class because you know how they stop and get choppy when you're trying to show them or watch them. So what I've done is I'm downloading the video, and what I'll do is I'll upload it into the conference. It's only like, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes long. It's not a real long video, but the guy goes through and really shows you outside how to use white balance in a real powerful way. And so it's a great video. I try to show it every semester, but this semester with the network being so slow, I didn't even want to attempt to try to show it to you on YouTube. So I did download from YouTube. And does anybody watch YouTube videos a lot in here? Anybody watch YouTube videos? Okay. This is a side note, but what I did was to download the video from YouTube is, and if you're in Firefox at home, there is a plugin you can get. I'll show you on the overhead here before I let you go. There's a plugin you can get for YouTube, which I recommend getting, that allows you to download any YouTube video. You have to be in Firefox, but download any YouTube video that you want natively onto your computer. So let me see if I can find it for you real quick, and you can jot that down. This one kind of add-ons, there it is. Tools, add-ons in Firefox, where you want to go. And basically what you want to do, once you go to Tools, add-ons in Firefox, just type in the word YouTube. It'll search for all the words that have YouTube for plugins. The one you want to download is this Easy YouTube Video Downloader. And what it does is, I won't download it to show you, but what it does is once you download it into Firefox and you install it, you have to restart Firefox. But then when you go to any YouTube video site, there's actually a button now to download that video as a MP3 file, MP4 file. I'd recommend MP4 file, by the way, which is going to be a higher quality. But you can even download all the way up to 1080p full HD quality as well, right onto your desktop, and then be able to watch it later. And so I'd recommend doing that for any YouTube video that you're going to be watching for whatever purpose, that you don't want it to sit there and wait for 10 minutes before it goes on to the next frame, which here on campus is going to happen all the time. So that's a plug-in in YouTube that I recommend getting that you can download. You can download those videos right to your flash drive and have them with you all the time. Okay? So any questions on the take-home for white balance? All right. I know there's a few of you that are going to have to collect your pictures. If you could hang back, those of you that I did not collect your pictures on Monday. Otherwise, the rest of you can actually begin walking around campus and start taking some of these white balance photos if you want to. Yes?
I do have one question.
Mhm.
For the milestones,
Yes?
there was a in-class lab for white balance that's going to be due 2/21.
That's the one that we did actually on Monday when we just went around the class. And I'm going to give a grade for that for everybody. So if you were here and you put in the pin for attendance on Monday, you're going to get a grade for that.
Okay.
Now, if you weren't here Monday, if you were not here Monday, well, we can go ahead and do this if everybody's still on the Eagle, just so I'll know that you were here Monday. If you could go ahead and go into the in-class lab white balance, and in the title and in the message, just put your name and submit it. That way I know you were here Monday. That'd be great. Because basically it was just to go around and to see that everybody knew where your white balance was on your camera. And that was it. So if you could go ahead and go into the lab section if you haven't already and put your name and the title and message and send it to me before you go, that'd be great. All right. Thanks for bringing that up. Appreciate it. Do what now? I'm sorry. If you were not here, go ahead and put your name in there anyway so you get the points. Okay. Put your name in there if you so we can get the 50 points for whatever it is on there. All right. So if there's no other questions, we are done tonight. And then if you could bring up your USB drive if you weren't here Monday so I can collect your pictures. And then just a reminder, I do have that chat feature on our site now if you need help between classes. Otherwise, I'll see everybody Monday.